Happy Three Kings Day. Well, today is January 6th, and it is Epiphany, or Three Kings Day. My mother, who grew up in Puerto Rico, celebrated this tradition, and so I wanted to just share a little bit with you about it. So, what it's really about is remembering, I'm going to take off these glasses, remembering that God sent a special light, a star in the sky, and there were wise men. Now, we really don't know how many there were, and we don't know that they were kings, but they were wise men, astrologers, who studied the stars, and they knew the prophecies that when this star came, that meant the birth of a king, a very, very important king would be. And so they wanted to see this king and go to worship him. They brought gifts of gold, which is worthy of a king, frankincense, which is good for sacrifice, and myrrh. And I don't remember what myrrh was for, but they're also medicinal. And they began to follow this star during the night, so they had to travel at night. And they traveled for a long time. It said they came from the east. And they went through many towns, of course, and they would ask different questions, but they just kept following that star. Finally, they landed in Nazareth. And they thought, well, surely, they saw that the star had stopped. Surely the king must know where this new king's going to be. So they went to the palace and they asked, and of course that was a terrible mistake. But the king said, when you find him, let me know so that I could go and worship him too. He had no intention of that. But the kings traveled on. Now, traditionally, we say that it was, Jesus would have been a baby in Nazareth, and that is not true. He would not have been a baby. He definitely would have been probably about 2 years. It took a long time to travel that distance. Let me see if I can get where you can see me without too much glare. And so probably wouldn't have seen him in Nazareth. He probably would have been at the new home, wherever, close to wherever that was. Well, when my mom was a girl, this was the major Christmas celebration. And what they would do as children on January 5th is they would go ahead, sorry, this is so low. They would go ahead and the children would make sure their shoes were very clean. And then they would put grass, they'd go out in the yard and pick grass, put it in their shoes for the camels, which is just really a fun little tradition. Then during the night, when the wise men were going by to find the baby Jesus, they would stop at their house. The camels would eat the grass from the children's shoes and leave them small toys in there. Another thing that was done was that they made a special cake. And in that cake, they would hide a little baby Jesus. So it was very special if you got the slice of cake. It was really a bready type of cake. And if you got that, that was really special. There were also parades. And the final thing, and the thing I'm going to talk about, is they had a special drink. And I just forgot the name. Coquilla, I think is what it was. And it is a milk-based drink. And I'm going to make it for you right now. So, I'm going to use my blender. Now, I'm sure they didn't always have blenders, but that's okay. And it makes a very large amount, and we don't need that large of amount, so I'm going to do a half of an amount. And I forgot to get a spatula. Just one second. So the recipe is pretty simple. Calls for, I'm cutting it in half, a half a can of coconut milk, it's about half a can, a half a can of coconut cream, and look how thick that is. That is just pure fat. So that will add a real richness. I may not add quite the full half of amount. Boy, does that smell good. A half a can of evaporated milk. That's for the sweetness. And a half a can of evaporated milk. You can also put cinnamon and a little cloves in this if you like. And in Puerto Rico, where my mom grew up, they put rum, but I don't drink it all, so no rum in this one. And then I'm going to just turn it around. That's it. Let me grab a glass. Now this actually needs to chill for a while, but I'm going to taste it because I have never made it, never had it. See what it tastes like. It's very creamy and very sweet. I'm probably going to cut this with a little bit of regular milk. You could do non-milk if you want. But I could see where this is a real treat. Now, in the recipes I saw, they would add a whole cup of rum to this. So that would thin it down. Anyhow, I thought you might like to celebrate Three Kings Day with me. I'm doing it in honor of my mom, and I'm doing it in honor of Christ. The best way that we can celebrate Three Kings Day is by serving God, thanking Him that He sent His Son Jesus to come on earth for us. He loved us that much. And so, it's Maria from Still Dreaming Homestead. I want to pray blessings on you and yours, in your house, out of your house, in the day and night. Whatever you do, keep dreaming. Happy Three Kings Day.